Welcome to Win Souls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas. And, man, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I've been struggling a lot with procrastination. But I will say this. That you're not a procrastinator just because you procrastinate. You just have made a habit of procrastinating. And so I've been in this place of literally struggling to just do the things that I know I need to be doing, and one of which is making these videos. And so, like, man, I have really just dropped the ball on this lately. And anyway, I apologize, and I'm gonna do my best to continue to create 3 videos a week, and we just gonna keep going forward because that's the only way that we can go. Today's video, I just wanted to share a little testimony with you guys. There was a Seeing in the Spirit conference. I think it was called Gifts of the Secret of the Seer. Oh no, it was called Secrets of the Seer. And they were in Tulsa. And so naturally, since I live in Oklahoma, of course I wanted to go see them. And so it was Ana Werner and then Toni Kemp were speaking. And so it was raining that day, and I drove out there and drove about an hour to go see him. And we get to the church, and, great, gospel music and everything. Great word. But let me just dive in on some of the things that the Lord shared with me while I was there. And he literally only wanted me to be there. He said that I could stay there, but literally, I was only there for the first night, and the rest of the days of the conference, he was just saying that, you don't necessarily need to be there. And I'll tell you why. So I get there, everything's good. They got the whole choir is singing and everything, great gospel music. And then Ana Werner is praying over people, and she's ministering. And before she gets started, I'm sitting in the pew and I'm asking the Lord, and I'm just like, Lord, what is it that you really want me to get out of this whole entire conference? Like, what is it that you want me to see? And he said, you remember when I told you to rest? And if you guys look at my past videos, I made a whole entire thing on resting and the experiences that I went through with that and all of that jazz. But he said, you remember when I told you to rest? And I was like, yeah. And he said, well, I never told you to stop. And I was like, okay. And then as soon as Ana Werner stands up to speak, she says, I know that this is a Seeing in the Spirit conference, but she says that there's a lot of things that the Lord would like to deal with, one of which is fear. And then another thing is resting. And I was like, oh my goodness. And when she said what she needed to say about rest, and I listened to her, it was just like a light bulb went off. Resting doesn't necessarily mean that you stop everything that you're doing in the middle of, all of this chaos and everything that you need to do throughout the day. And it's just like, you know what? I'm going to stop all of this stuff. I'm going to shut everything down. And I'm just going to rest for a month and this, that, and the other. It doesn't mean that. It means creating a designated time with just you and the Lord. And it's just kind of like, look, I set aside this time for you. In the midst of all of this, I'm just going to take an hour to where me and you can just rest. And resting is basically waiting on the Lord. Right? And waiting on the Lord, you can just sit in your prayer chair like Michael Van Vlymen, this, that, and the other. And you can just sit and then just wait and see what the Lord would have to show you, what he would like to show you, what he would like to say to you. Literally just focusing on the things that the Lord would have for you. So check this out. So they start praying. They start prophesying over people. And I'm just like, oh, heck yeah, I want a piece of that. So I start moving up to the front. As soon as I start moving up to the front, the Lord said, look, these people are just now getting their beginning. You got yours a long time ago. They are just now getting words that will propel them to the next place that I would have them. But you already know where you're going to go. You already know what I have for you. There's more to be revealed, but you know basically the gist of where I'm bringing you to. And he said, you can go up there, but they're not going to prophesy over you. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going anyway. I went up there and I stood up there for about an hour and a half. Sure enough, they did not call on me. He said, look, the rest of this conference isn't going to be anything that you haven't already heard. I wanted you to come to this conference just so you can get that little piece about resting. And just so you guys know, I made a video about, waiting on the Lord. I will put that in the description. Well, not also in the description box, but I'll also put it in the cards somewhere up here. Just so you guys can know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to waiting on the Lord. But with that said, I will say this. I did not go to any of the other days concerning the conference. The Lord was just letting me know that, hey, that's all I really wanted you to get. And it's time for you to just rest and focus on me in the midst of all of this other stuff that you need to get done, And so I was just like, okay, And so that may be the case with you, A lot of us think that resting is kind of like sleeping, but in reality, resting just means that I'm just going to slow down and see what the Lord wants in all of my situations. I just want to slow down just to see what he has to say about this stuff, rather than focusing on, oh, I got to go get this done, or I got to go do this, I got to go do that, I got to go. We live in a society to where it's just like, oh, we have to be doing something. We constantly have to be, and it's kind of like frowned upon when it's just like, oh, you mean to tell me you just sitting in that chair and waiting on God? I mean, that just seems like you're not doing nothing, But that's the very place where you can find him. You guys be blessed. I love you. Comment, like, subscribe. My book will be free again on Kindle coming very soon. I missed Labor Day, so we just gonna have to wait for another day. But I will definitely make it free again, and hopefully you can tell your family about it, your friends about it. Hopefully they can get a copy and read it for free. And I hope that it's a blessing to them. I hope it propels them forward in the ministry. And I hope that it equips them in terms of the mindset that is needed in order to run this race. You guys be blessed. Love you. Bye.